Welcome back to part two with Kevin Schneider. Kev, thanks for sticking around. We're probably on hour 4 here, but we have a bunch of questions, probably more than we normally get. We usually get 3 or 4. We had about 10 come in. Some can't be said on the air, and then we always get a bunch of idiots anyway that bash me to death. I don't know if you've ever seen them, but those are.
That's what I like about you, though, John. I mean, you're like me a little bit. People like saying stuff to you.
Yeah, it's fine. You got to be able to deal with that too. If you're going to be outspoken, you're going to get some pushback.
Exactly.
Go ahead, Rich. You could take the first question.
Okay, this is coming from Greg from Philadelphia. His question says, give us the scouting report on John Gallante as an umpire from your experiences.
That's actually a serious question. From Greg from Philadelphia. I was wondering if it was one of my players, but I don't think it would be. Scouting report would be that overall one of my favorite umpires because he's going to be consistent, good zone, and is going to communicate with you in an honest fashion about, like I said before, where a pitch is. Hey man, that's off. Hey, it's close. Here's why I did this. Not get in a huge dialogue. I don't deserve to get into a huge dialogue and everything else like that. But he's going to be straightforward, firm, and consistent, both behind the plate and in the field. And he's also because of those things that we had to be a part of. He's in the right spot. So that's one of my pet peeves is when an umpire misses a call because he's in the wrong spot. So overall, honestly, and this is not just because John's my boy and I'm talking to him right now, John is one of the best umpires in the region.
We're gonna cut that and put that on the website.
I got John.
5-second snippet. But Kev, we've actually you've like came. We haven't covered any of it, but like me and you have had issues where we disagreed on the field. Like I remember.
Yeah.
I think I called I think it was your leadoff guy called out. He had a double, missed first base. Like I think he missed first base by a lot. I mean, you clearly do.
Yeah. Yeah.
You were pretty upset about that. Like you told me that quote unquote I should be embarrassed to ever make that call in a real game.
I was upset about it because it never gets called, right? It's one of those things that typically never gets called. Now, where I got embarrassed was I asked you, I said, you explained to me how you saw him miss first base. And you gave me the perfect explanation to where you were supposed to start here. As he came through, you started going towards second while looking at first base, saw him miss first base and then go to second. And I was like, so you looked back and you're like, yeah. I was like, all right, well, you did exactly what you were supposed to do. So I don't really have much to say. But I think that was more or less one of those, you just don't see it called. Yeah. Plus, I think it was a leadoff double.
It was a leadoff double. And, Rich will probably enjoy it. This is probably one of our better ones just because of the interactions between us. But you asked me during that conversation, you said, show me exactly what you did and how you saw it. And I said, do you think I'm going to go back and run again with you out there? There is no shot that's going to happen, right? So we call him out, so the bases are now empty. Your next guy it probably was your 2-hole or 3-hole hitter, hits a single, and you're 100%. Clearly watching me do exactly like to check to see if I lied to you. And you're like, oh, okay. You're at third base going, oh, okay, now I get it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I did, so I gave you respect, but then at the same time, I was probably like, I was obviously like, all right, that should have been a run and a man on first and nobody out. So no, it was just, I think it was just because I completely forgot about that one, by the way. It was just because you typically never see it, and it looked like it was one of those. I thought he kind of just like had a little stutter step, you know what I mean? But like I said, I want to win. I'm going to argue.
I get it, man. I just think it's funny that people probably assume, if you're friends or if you're friendly with somebody that you never get into disagreements. Like that just doesn't happen.
Yeah, I mean,
For that 10 minutes or whatever where we're all amped up, like it doesn't matter.
yeah, I told you should be embarrassed that you made that call, and then after the game, I was like, all right, love it, man. See you later.
Yep. Good seeing you again, man.
Yeah.
All right, next question. Albert from Villanova, Pennsylvania. Pretty simple. What pisses you off the most about umpires? I guess he means college, but I don't know if he means in general.
It's the Tommy tough guy routine. And again, like I said before, unfortunately, I feel like it's happened more with older guys that have been around for a while, where if I'm totally respectful and polite and say, hey, where was that pitch or whatever it is, and they literally act like I'm not even, I don't even exist.
God forbid you question anything.
Yeah, I mean, God forbid I would say anything at all, and they kind of have that aura as soon as you have that plate meeting and you're going around that, hey, this is their show and we should be happy that they're umpiring our game. And unfortunately, we haven't had some guys like that. So I'd rather have a guy that's bad than a guy that just wants to make it about him and kind of goes out of his way to be disrespectful to me or one of my players.
Gotcha. Go ahead, Rich.
All right, this is coming from a man who identifies himself as Bill from Don't Worry About It. I have a feeling we've heard from this guy many times before, so
submits one every day. Every day he submits a question.
Anyway, here he goes. Yes, it's me again. John gets lots of questions during these about being arrogant. He usually laughs most of them off, but I would like your opinion as someone who has experienced a working relationship with John on the field in college baseball. Again, Bill from Don't Worry About It. It's almost like forget about it.
So, wait, so the actual question is John arrogant on the field?
Well, he says that
it's lengthy, but I think that's the premise.
Yeah, he said, John, he would like to have your opinion as someone who has worked, has experienced a working relationship with John on a college baseball field, as to his arrogance or difficult to deal with. That John usually laughs everything off.
Just some background on this dude. Like if it helps you, like think about what kind of psychopath we're dealing with here. He constantly will ask a question with the premise that even though he asked the question, we're never going to use it anyway. We're never going to put it in, even though we do every week. And two, the person who answers it is like given a scripted answer to the question, so it's meaningless.
Well, honestly, and Bill, this is dead honest. If John comes off arrogant, which people say I do as well, which I'm fine with, he does not during a game. If he were to come off arrogant, if someone would say to me like, "Hey, John comes off arrogant during his podcast, during his blah, 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 is he the same way during the game?" The answer is no. I'm dead honest, because like I said before, he does his job. He doesn't try to be a tough guy. He doesn't try to say, "Look at me." He doesn't try to, he doesn't try to do any of that stuff. So he's actually more reserved. He's way more reserved and professional during a game than I guess on the podcast.
Yeah, I'm not reserved on here, but like I really try not. You said like make games about. I try not to insert myself in the game at all. I played and I've coached, and I know what that looks like from an umpire. I'll insert myself when I think it's absolutely necessary. But
by the way, quick side note, and this is also why I like John, and this is a huge thing for me. If an umpire didn't play, what he should do on a foul ball is hand it to the catcher and let the catcher throw it back to the pitcher. Because if I see the umpire throw it back to the pitcher, and you can tell that he probably didn't play, right? And he bounces it to him from 40 feet, he's going to get a lot more from me. So that's the other thing. When John throws it back, I can tell that he actually played. So therefore, I have even more respect.
I'm probably sitting like 75 from like.
And that's also a
45.
difference maker. That's a difference maker. If I'm on the fence with a guy and a guy steps back and throws like a nice seed back to the pitcher, I'm like, all right, I'm good. I got more respect.
Believe it or not, we talk about that stuff. If you can't throw, don't throw it, man. Hand it to the catcher. We literally tell guys that.
Some of these guys, you can tell they're like airing it out, and they had practiced for so long. They're like airing it out, and it's an absolute balloon that barely gets there.
Yeah, why expose yourself? Jesus.
Oof, yeah.
All right, Brad from Newark, Delaware. What would you say to kids that are hesitant to commit to Division III schools? I think you'll be able to speak to it as a guy out there recruiting, but I think the Division III level kind of gets a bad rap in some circles.
Yeah, I mean, I played Division I baseball. My travel baseball and everything else like that were all Division I guys, pro guys, everything else like that. The first Division III baseball game that I ever watched in its entirety was the one that I coached in 2017. If I could go back in time, the one thing that I would do and make mandatory for all of my players and all of my parents of kids on my travel teams at Baseball Academy is you have to go watch two good Division III teams play each other. You have to go watch blank versus blank, wherever you're from, two top 30 teams go play each other. And then be honest with yourself with where your kid fits. I've seen Division I players that I wouldn't recruit, and I've seen Division III players that I would bet my life that they could play in the SEC. So for anyone to not understand how good the competition is, how good the coaching is really just an uneducated thing. And I would just, my piece of advice would be to go out and watch a game. You're going to see, you're going to see 88 to 92. You're going to see 91 to 94. You're going to see a 6'3", 215-pound dude hit a ball 420. You're going to see all that. So unfortunately, we're in a social media egotistical, look at me, I think self-conscious world of baseball. Where, and if you notice when these kids announce where they're going to school, a lot of it is I fulfilled my dream of playing Division I baseball at. And I say this to everybody: do you want to go somewhere and be okay? Your team's not that good, you don't play that much. Go somewhere and be a dude. Go somewhere and be a dude, right? Go somewhere and start as a freshman and be the conference rookie of the year. Last year we had the conference rookie of the year. I had a kid that I've known his whole life. Well, I knew he was a D1 player, and I wanted to come play for me. He batted .360, and he was the rookie of the year. He was one of the best shortstops in college baseball. Everybody knew it, right? So go somewhere, be a dude, and this is what I always say. I mean, leave in the record books. So why force something that maybe sounds a little bit better for when your parents post it on their Facebook or tell their friends, or for when you post it on your Twitter and your Instagram, and for 2 days everybody says congrats, stud, and then you go there, don't play, and you're either at a JUCO or in the transfer portal. Go somewhere from day one where you can be a dude and leave in the history books. And if you don't know how good Division III baseball is, go watch a game and it'll probably blow your mind.
And get a good education like you can at Immaculata.
Of course. of course, student athlete. It's not just about Division One.
It's a good sell. I like that.
I was the only baseball player on traveling around that took his textbooks with him.
I actually make that mandatory on our away trips. So
go ahead, Red. You got the final question.
Okay, turnabout is fair play. This one is actually going to go to John. Kevin. All right, to John, coming from Eric from Northeast Philly. John, what has your experience been like with Kevin on the field? He seems kind of arrogant himself.
Yeah, I saw this coming a mile away. But yeah, I mean, me and Kevin have talked many times about how similar we are in just personality and stuff like that, which may make me biased in our experience. But when I have Immaculata on the schedule, like I think that's a fun day. Like I enjoy it. But I'm also not an umpire or a person who takes any of this stuff personally that happens on the field. And I think, if we were best friends or brothers or I never met him before, if he thinks I missed something, I think he should come out and he should handle it just like he thinks he should as a baseball coach. And that would never bother me. It really wouldn't. And I wish more umpires were like that. But I guess because I have that opinion about the way the game should go down is why maybe I enjoy his presence on the field or my experience with him on the field more than most. But I think that's all part of the game. I think that challenges me to be a better umpire every day. That challenges me to be able to explain myself when I make a call that he might not agree with or something weird went down and I got to sort of rise to the occasion and handle that. I think it's great. I think he's got a unique perspective on things, and I think I find him to be entertaining and kind of, I don't know, but I could see how, just like I could see how somebody would think I'm arrogant, I could see how somebody would think that about you, Kev. But I've always enjoyed the experience, no matter how much chaos has happened on the field. It's been enjoyable. So, I think you do a great job over there, and I think you kind of get a bad rap from some people, just like I do.
No, man, I listen. Well, first of all, I appreciate it, and I one thing as I've gotten older is I've always said make your opinions on somebody once you get to know them, not what you hear. That's why I said I think anybody who knows me, who's played for me, who I played with or whatever it is, knows the real me, knows that I'm about my players. I'm a passionate dude. And part of that is I think what's made me successful, but I also, have been humble in defeat and know that there's a lot that I still want to accomplish and have to accomplish before I can put myself in any category with a lot of these other coaches around me. But, also with that being said, I mean, anybody who's successful or good at what they do isn't going to be universally liked. I look at guys like John Calipari. I always laugh that John Calipari gets, a lot of kind of crap for the way he recruits and stuff like that. And he said, look, you can say what you want about me, but I'm not going to, go to the Kentucky Derby with a donkey and expect to win the race. He's honest. I mean, the first thing I say when I make a recruiting call, and I didn't say this before too, is, hey, look, man, I'm a transparent dude. I'm going to be completely honest. And what you see is what you're going to get. And that way, when he gets to campus, if he does come to campus, I'm the same guy. I'm not going to put on a fake recruiting spiel to get him to come to my program. And then I'm a different dude. Because trust me, for as crazy as the transfer portal is right now, and for as crazy as baseball is right now with the COVID-19 and everything else like that, that's the first thing I hear. The coach that recruited me isn't the guy that I was with at every practice. So I just try to be honest. I love the game. I love my players. People that know me really well actually will probably tell you that I probably care and go and back my guys to a fault. So if it comes off that way, I'm okay with it.
Nice. Good answer.
Thanks.
Kev, I really appreciate you coming on, man. I always appreciate your honesty and candidness. And I think people enjoy that, your answers to these questions. We don't just get like coach speak. And I told Rich that before you came on. We're not just going to get these stale, regurgitated answers. So I always appreciate that. And Rich, I don't know if you're going to take him up on that managerial offer, but you'll probably do it for free. Just maybe travel or cover the tolls or something for him.
I get paid by the mile.
I would love it. But
next time John does a game out there, I might come along.
Yeah, that you got to do. You can see the two arrogant guys interact with one another, on the field in person.
And we can see what happens. Something is going to happen. I don't know what it is.
Something's going to happen. We couldn't have planned all the things that have happened at our games. So
I've probably done 500 other games in my life and never seen anything like that in all 500 combined. So,
yeah.
Kevin, I was going to ask you when you get a chance. Send your schedule for that Trenton team.
Yeah.
I send it down to John. If we have any time, maybe we come up and see how good you are.
Yeah, I will. And like I said, I hope you play because our team is stacked. I want to say they're going to make a ruling on the 15th. I could be wrong of this month. But I'll definitely send it to you because our off-field GM Mike Olshan is the one that is doing all this scheduling for the whole league. So I'll definitely get that to you because it's phenomenal baseball.
Is that field? Is it near that TD Bank on 31?
Yeah, right on 31 there. Right, you kind of pull off that Pennington Circle, depending on which direction you're coming from.
I'm pretty familiar with the area. If you shoot your schedule, I'm able to come up.
Rich, we'll get you some driving directions so you can get there.
Print out some Google Maps.
Kev, if we're still sitting here in a couple months, maybe we'll have you back on because I'm sure we can fill some more time with some questions. But thanks for coming on today. Best to you and your family. Stay safe.
Hey, guys, I really appreciate it. Had a lot of fun, and obviously appreciate all the kind words and banter. And Rich, it was great getting to know you and talk to you, my friend. And John, pleasure as always. And I'll talk to you soon, brother.
All right, man. Talk to you soon. See you, bud.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.